Hello, hi, it's Henry the Computer Guy, and you're welcome to our lesson number 42. And in today's lesson, we are actually having an activity 3.3, which is actually selecting our files. So we are going to be looking at how we can select our files. Remember, in the previous lesson, we saw how we can manage our files. We can either copy them, we can select them, we can delete them, we can rename them, and others as we are going to be seeing in this lesson. And we are beginning with selecting the files. We want to see how we can select our files. It can be one, they can be two, they can be more than two or five. So we are going to be looking at how we can select them. They're telling us that open a drive or go to desktop where there are files and folders. I don't mean that your files are supposed to be only on the desktop. They can be in any location of your choice, so long as they are there. So choose any location that has your files and folders. So to select a single file, just click it. It will change the color on selection. So whenever you click on it, it will change the color to be differentiated from other files that are not yet selected. So let's look at the diagram down here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 files. We have 5 files, but one has been selected. You see its color has been changed. These ones are not colored because they haven't yet been selected. So let's look at how we can try that in our link here. So we have a link that takes us to our files. So we have these. I can select, let's say, this one. When I click on it, all these ones are going to remain deselected because they haven't already yet been selected. So this one will change the color and be differentiated from all other files that have not yet been selected. Very simple. That's how we do that one. We continue. And we look at another one. For example, they have told us to select consecutive files. That means that these ones can be close to one another. Click the first file, hold down the shift key, and select the last file. The files in between are automatically selected. Let's look at the diagram down here. So we have the first file as database. So now they came and clicked on Word. So all these two in between were automatically selected. Let's look at how we can come up with that on our link. So these are the files that we are having. I click on the first file, then I hold down the shift key, then I will click on the last file. For example, I want to click on these ones. So all these two, which is Excel and PowerPoint, have actually been selected automatically. If I come and click on this one, all of them are going to be selected. So I click on this, the database, hold down the shift key, I click on the last one. All those ones in between are going to be automatically selected. Let's close and continue. That one has been actually selecting consecutive files. Then let's look at how we can select non-consecutive files. To select non-consecutive files, hold down the Control key and select the files in turn. For example, that is the diagram we are having. They selected database, PowerPoint, and Word too. But these ones are not selected. So we want to see how we can also come up with that. Let's click on our link. So that means that we shall come and click on our database. We press Control. We click on PowerPoint. We press Control. We click on. That means that you're going to hold the Control key without releasing it. Then we click on Word too. So the 3 files have been selected. We close this one and continue. So they are telling us that to select all the files in a folder, click a Home tab and choose Select All. Or if you don't choose that one, you can use the shortcut, which is Ctrl+A. Let's look at the diagram we are having here. So we have all our files in here. And whenever we click on Home, then we click on Select All, they are going to be selected. Or if you're lacking these options or options up here, what you're going to do, you're going to come where your files are, then select all. That means that you press Ctrl+A to select them all. And they're telling us that note, the above procedure applies equally to groups of folders. So that means that this can work on either you're having files or folders. And again, if you have a mixture of either files and folders, it can as well select all of them at the same time. Let's try it and we see how it works. So these are the files we are having. You can come to the home tab as we said, then you come to select all. They're going to be selected just in a hit. Or you can come and click in space where they are, then select Ctrl A as the shortcut. They are going to be selected. Now you're seeing these ones are not in a list. We can make them similar to these ones by coming to this view. Then come and make it as a list. Now you see all of them are selected. So you can be switching the views depending on how you want your files to be displayed. We close it and continue again. And we are looking at how we are going to be copying and pasting files. What does copying mean? Copying means that you're making a duplicate. And pasting means that you're going to be putting something in another location, or in a location. So we copy, then we put in another location. We copy, we put in another location. So it is going to be helping us to make a duplicate. So let's see how we can do that. They're telling us that first select the required file or files. It can be one or many. Then right click the files and choose copy. That is the diagram that we are having. We have all the files. For example, here they selected 1, 2, 3. Then they copied them. Let's see how we can come up with that. And they are telling us that the files are copied to an area of memory called a clipboard. What is a clipboard? A clipboard is an area in memory that holds either cut or copied text. So when you copy something on your computer, it is stored on a location called a clipboard. When you cut something on your computer, it is stored on something, first of all, called a memory called a clipboard. So you can now be pasting it wherever you want from the clipboard now. Let's try it out and we see how it works also. We have our link down here. So we have these files. We can copy them. That means that I can click on this one. I can press Ctrl. I click on this one either or this one. There are three now. I'll right click and say copy. So when I copy, that information, all those files are going to be stored on a clipboard. So whenever you need to put them anywhere, I'll just say paste. For example, I have a folder where I'm going to paste that information. We click to continue and look for where we can paste that information. So they're telling us that means that we want to paste them. Browse to the destination folder, right click it and choose paste. That is the folder that we are having. For example, we have a folder called paste here. We have nothing there, so we can paste something there. For example, we can click on our link and try to go there. That means that we can come and say paste. Right click in any location, then come and click on paste. If you have found some which are similar, you can either, let me replace them and bring them as that. So that means that I've copied some items from one location and I've brought them to another location. That is what we call the copying and pasting. I can even copy them from here. I'll right click and say copy. I come to another folder somewhere. I come and say paste. I can come to another folder down here. I say paste. I can come to another folder. Let's say senior 1 trials. I can come and say right click and paste. That is the procedure. They will just come directly. We close this one and continue. And look at how we can move files without leaving a copy. So when someone says that I'm moving a file, that means that they are cutting them. When you cut a file from its original location, it will completely go away from that location. Then you can paste it in another location that you feel you want. So they are telling us that the procedure is similar to copy and paste, except that instead of choosing copy, you will only choose the cut. And that is the diagram that we are having. So they selected some of the files here. Then after, instead of clicking on copy, they clicked on cut. Let's try it and see how it works. We have our link here. So we are going to select the files we want. Let's say I want this one and this one. So what I'll do, I'll right click, then I'll say cut. When I cut, actually now you see them, they are not all that thicker. That means that we can now paste them in another location, so they are going to move from here. Let me just take all of them. I press Ctrl A to select all of them, then I say cut. So when I come and say new folder and paste them on new folder here, replace, and I go back to my paste here, you see it is now empty. That means that I've cut the items from this location and I've put them in another location. We close this one and continue. So let's look at how we can rename our files. Renaming a file is like it is already having a name, but you can, let's say you want to decide to give it another name or to change that name. So they're telling us that files must be renamed individually. That means that you select one by one to give it another name. But if you want them to be, let's say, having the same name when they're of a different application, you can select them at once and change their name. But if they are of the same application, you cannot have, or you cannot give them the same name, and they allow that. Are we together? Unless they are of the different applications which were designed to make them, or in which they were designed. For example, PowerPoint, Excel, and Word. You can give them the same name. It will be allowed. But if they are all from Word, they cannot accept the same name. So that's why you can, or you have to select them individually and rename them. So they are telling us that type the name and press return or click aside. That is it. They selected this one. After selecting it, they came and said rename. So let's try and see how that one works. We have a link here. It will take us to where we have some of the files. Let's click where the files are. Then I'll come and say we have a, let's say Excel. I want to rename this one to, let's say, spreadsheet. Or I can first of all copy this one and paste it again in the same location. When I paste it again in the same location, it will give me a copy. That means I have Excel, then I have Excel copy. So I want to rename this one to spreadsheet. I'll right click, I'll come to rename. Then I'll put the rename. Let's say the spreadsheet. So that is it. They are the same files, but I've actually renamed each to something different. The names are different, but they are the same files. Are we together? We close this one and continue. Let's see how we can delete our files. Deleting a file, that means that you no longer need it. So when you delete it, it will go to what we call the recycle bin. If you have not permanently deleted it, it goes to the recycle bin. So if you want to delete something permanently, you have to press the shift and the delete. That means that it will not be able to go to the recycle bin. It completely goes away from your computer. Are we together? So if you just click the delete button, it will go to the recycle bin. But if you don't want to see it in the recycle bin also, you have to press the shift and the delete button such that it doesn't appear in the recycle bin. So they are telling us that select the files to be deleted, right click any selected file and choose delete. From the menu, click yes button, of course, to confirm from the dialog box. For example, we have that, we shall select them, then delete them. Let's try it and see how it works. We have a link down here to our files. For example, we come where we have some of the files. Remember, I copied this one and made spreadsheet. So I want to delete spreadsheet. I will click on it, right click and say delete. It actually goes away. But where does it go? It goes to the recycle bin. If I wanted to delete something permanently, I would come and say, let's say this word too. I would press the shift button and delete at the same time. Then it will ask me, are you sure you want to permanently delete this file? If you say yes, this file is going to go for good. You will not find it in the recycle bin. But if you want to again look at it, don't use what we call the shift and delete. Just click the delete button, is enough only. think we are getting the difference. We close this one and continue. And we have the recycle bin. We have said that when you delete something, it goes to your recycle bin. But if you delete it permanently, it won't even appear in the recycle bin. That's when if you use the shift and the delete. So they are trying to tell us that a recycle bin is designed to protect you from accidentally deleting hard disk files that you actually still need. Therefore, it stores deleted items temporarily. So whenever you delete them, they are kept there for a certain period of time. Files and folders deleted from the computer are placed in the recycle bin. They are not lost until the recycle bin is emptied. So whenever you have so much information in the recycle bin, you can also delete it from there so that it completely goes away. We continue. And this is how our recycle bin looks like. If you have ever seen that one on the desktop of your computer, that is the recycle bin. We continue. And they're telling us we have an activity 3.5, managing the recycle bin. How can we manage our recycle bin? Let's say getting information from there again. We want to see how we can manage our recycle bin. They're saying that delete a folder normally by right-clicking on the folder and selecting delete. Click in the recycle bin to confirm if the file or folder has arrived. That means that when you delete something, you have to go to the recycle bin and check. Remember, we have deleted spreadsheet. We want to see whether it has gone to the recycle bin. So this is how it will actually, let's say we get a file and delete it. We have already deleted one. That was the spreadsheet. So we are going to go to the, we are going to go to the recycle bin and check whether it is there. So they are still telling us that to undelete a folder or file, right-click the recycle bin and open it. When you open it, you have to go inside it also. Then from the edit menu, click restore to undelete the folder or file to its original location as it gets out of the recycle bin. And that is how the diagram looks like. For example, if you go to, let's say, your recycle bin, you'll have to look for that file that you have deleted or folder that you have deleted, then right click on it, click on restore, it will go to its exact place where it was. Let's try that and see. So let's come to our desktop. Let's come to our desktop. This is our desktop and our recycle bin is just here. So we right click on it, then we open it. When we open our recycle bin, we are going to check through our files that we have here that were deleted. Then we have to look for our spreadsheet. Our spreadsheet is here. So when you look at our spreadsheet, if you want to bring it back, or we can bring it back any other, if it's not that, any that we had deleted. Let's say spreadsheet, okay. Right click on it and say restore. When you click on restore, it has to go back to the original place. That means that you know where it was, you'll go there and check. So you can just go on doing that, like that, like that, like that. It will exactly go back to its original place. So it's been actually Henry the Computer Guy. Thank you for watching. If you're new to my channel, please help me and subscribe and share the link to your friends who need it. Thank you. Bye-bye. See you in the next video. I sign out.